Hello and welcome back to Rupel Boom or Bust with Rupel Boom in the Jupiler League, top league in Belgium. Last season was a massive disappointment. Not a disappointment in terms of how well we did, but in terms of how it ended. We had a chance to get European football twice and we missed both chances, which means this season is probably going to be a fairly quick one. As always, we need to talk about money because money is always a problem. You will see a very sharp increase here, and there are a couple of reasons for that. Number one, we have sold 2 young players to Standard Liège for way too much money. I think we got about £3.5 million for 2 players in total. We have also got some stadium news. I mentioned in the last episode that we might play at Antwerp Stadium if we got into Europe. We're playing there anyway because apparently we're only allowed to play at our old stadium for a season at the top level, and then if we haven't fixed it within a season we then have to go somewhere else, which means we are now playing at Antwerp Stadium for just a season, but we are actually getting a lot more money because there's more seats. 14,500 capacity playing at Antwerp at Bossuil, maybe? No idea. To be fair, couldn't pronounce our stadium name, so it doesn't matter if I can pronounce the Antwerp one either. Transfers. Let's talk about who we've sold. Like I said, 2 players have gone to Standard Liège. Jeremy Detry is the first one. 19 years old striker, played a few games for us, scored a goal as well. £1.3 million, potentially going to 1.5 plus some sell-ons in there. That's the first chunk of money. The next one was a little bit bigger. Again, going to Standard Liège, but this time it's Geert de Kock, which is annoying because we didn't get to play him too many times, but de Kock has gone. He has left. He has made his way to Standard Liège for £2.4 million, potentially going to 2.6, plus some sell-ons. This is where we've made our money. They're not the only players to leave the club, though. £700,000 has gone into our bank, thanks to Lafomba making his way over to France to sign for Auxerre. We say a fond farewell to Amura Samura, who has made his way to Germany to sign for Aue, maybe, for £450,000. He didn't play a lot last season, but the season before that, he was an absolute superstar alongside Olivier de Huahulu. He's made a name for himself in Belgium. He's made his way over to the second Bundesliga in Germany now. Hopefully he can make a name for himself there. He's already scored once. Joachim Carcella, a player who we signed at the start of last season because he was Belgian, barely played him. He's now been sold to Chavez in, I think, Portugal for £300,000, which actually, that's a decent sum of money for a player who really wasn't good enough to play for us. A 6.2 average rating in 3 games. And we also have to say farewell to Andrei Yarmolenko. He's now retired. Didn't play a lot for us really last season. Played a few, I think. Got a couple of goals as well. Scored once, actually. 1 assist. But yeah, he is now retired. He's now a below average assistant manager. But good luck to Andrei Yarmolenko. There's a lot more transfers to talk about leaving the club. We'll come to them in a minute. We've brought in 5 players. That's it. And 3 of them are on loan from AC Milan. And I think 2 of them are fullbacks. Piero Asaletti is the first one. 18 years old left back. Signed from AC Milan, as I've mentioned. He is going to be probably the first name on the team sheet as the left back, maybe. Not quite sure. Because the other one we've signed is Edgar Elizalde, who's also on loan from AC Milan. He's also a left back. He's kind of a centre back. He's 6 foot. He's a bit of a big lad. But yeah, he's probably more of a left back, I think, at the moment. We're not paying any money for these loans either, so that is good news. Giacomo Desi is another player to join on loan. He's a winger from AC Milan. He's come in, he's going to basically play on that left-hand side instead of Al Hilali, who his contract was up at the end of the season with AC Milan. Didn't want to sign for us. He's now playing somewhere else in Italy. But yeah, Desi's in. Desi's good. We have brought ourselves a Belgian. It's Jamie Yaya MP, signed on a free transfer formerly of Sampdoria and Pisa. He's not amazing, but he's Belgian. He's probably going to sit on the bench for the most part. Desi will be ahead of him in the starting 11. But Yaya MP, I think there's some potential there as well. 3.5 star potential, 2.5 star current ability. So he's not amazing at the moment, but he might get better. On the right-hand side, we have brought in Dutch right-back Tristan Dekker from VVV Venlo. He has come in on a free transfer, kind of. He's a part exchange. I think it was a free transfer. I don't know whether we can even find out. Basically, they really wanted a 16-year-old Ukrainian goalkeeper who came through our youth intake, and I went, sure, take him. Dekker has come in. I don't think there's been any money exchanged. I think it's just Boris Karin who's gone over to Venlo. That's it. So you can also see players leaving the club. There's a lot to go through. Michaels, Gerard, we've mentioned Lafomba, Van den Ende, maybe. He's gone to Lommel. We've got rid of Verboven. Abubakari Koita. That's a difficult name to say. Why did I struggle with that? He's gone to some team. Liege, apparently. Andrazinho to Fortuna Düsseldorf on loan. Bram de Poor has gone on loan. Prissa Kenner also leaving the club for £13,500. I think he said £1,000,000, £1,000. Silas Naka, another player to leave on loan. Saliu Fall, Shevchenko, Hebert also leaving on loan. Vatany going on loan. Felipe going on loan. Detry we've mentioned. Pedro Ferreira going out on loan. A player who I'm not sure whether that's a good idea because he's actually not a terrible right back. I think we could have made use for him, but he's gone out on loan over to France. We've also got rid of, as I mentioned, Boris Karin. He's gone for a part exchange to Venlo. And Gildo to Chamois Niortais in France, also on loan. I think there's more people joining. No, there isn't. There's one player who's extended his loan deal. It's Dennis Weidner. He's here for his 4th season, maybe? 3rd season. So he was out of contract at Bayern. They then gave him a 1-year extension, which he's then signed, and then we've basically loaned him. And I don't think we're paying much for him. Or maybe we might be. We're paying $1,900 a week for him, which again, it's not amazing. It's fairly cheap, but also fairly expensive for us. But Weidner's been good for us the last couple of seasons. I want to sign him on a permanent deal. So that is the transfers. This is how the season has started. We are currently undefeated. We started off against Eupen, Sabai, Faye and Perez with the goals. Then a 1-1 draw against Genk. A 1-1 draw against OHL, Faye and Dahuahulu. In these ones, Charleroi, a team who finished in the top 5th to 8th league with us last season. We absolutely smashed them 4-1. Dahuahulu getting a hat-trick. Dennis Weidner also getting on the score sheet in this one. And then against, I assume, a bunch of children from somewhere, we hammer them 6-1. Mohamed Faye scores a hat-trick. Sabai, Dahuahulu and Perez to set up a 6th round match against KV Mechelen in the Croaky Cup. Today, it's Standard Liège. We are going in big. We're going in for one of the toughest matches that we're possibly going to have all season, but we've started all right, so I'm hoping we can carry that on. Before we get to the Standard Liège game, I just want to kind of talk about finances a little bit more. Now, obviously, we are still in debt, £3.8 million in debt to be precise. We are going up in terms of money. I'm hoping that Antwerp Stadium helps us out fairly well. If we look at income so far this season compared to last season, where we are looking at gate receipts, that's the one there, we are already a third of the way to our overall gate receipts, and we are literally 5 games into the season. So I'm hoping this gate receipts here is going to just kind of propel us up. I'm expecting maybe 4 million come the end of the season, which if that's the case, we should, in theory, break even, hopefully. The starting lineup then for the Standard Liège game, we are sticking with the 4-2-4 because it just works, doesn't it? It's going to be Andre in goal. He has not left the club. Fulham never came in for a formal bid for him, so Andre is still here. We probably need to replace Andre within the next season or two because he's starting to get on a bit. He'll be 32 come the end of the season. I think by the time he's 33, he's probably going to start declining, so we need to look at possibly replacing Andre sooner rather than later. Weidner, Ciel, Joel Sabai and Edgar Elizalde, that'll do. Edgar Elizalde, he'll be the left back. It'll be Zazura and La Rosa in the middle. Perez and Desi on the wings. Faye and Dahuahulu as our strikers, both of which scored 5 goals apiece this season. Just quickly show you some of the players, just so you know how well they've kind of developed, because I realise quite a lot of the time I don't really show you some of the players who just exist. I know how good they are. You don't necessarily know. Sio, now 19 years old, 3-star, 4.5-star potential. He's getting very good, I think. I think there's still a lot more to come from Sio. It'll be nice when he gets a proper South Korean cap as well. Obviously, we signed him from a Brazilian side. Joel Sabai, much like Sio, is getting very good. Sabai, I think, is ridiculous. He's got 2 caps now for the Ivory Coast, 4-star current ability, 5-star potential, still 18 years of age. I think we might struggle to keep hold of Joel Sabai. La Rosa is one of those players that he's good, but I don't know if he is good. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential, first touch and technique, superb. Determination and bravery, superb. Some of the other things, they're kind of average, aren't they? Realistically, they're average. Passing and tackling, 13s. He's got most of his mental stats are sort of 11s, 12s, 13s as well in there. Physically, he's not particularly fast. He's not particularly strong. He can't jump. I think La Rosa outperforms his ability. I think that's probably safe to say, much like Breck Peters did last season. Pokoma Zazua, who is now a mainstay in the Rupel Boom squad, at the end of this year, or season, I guess, he will able to become Belgian, which is going to be great because he's going to be for 5 seasons. We brought him in the first season on loan from Africa Sports. End of this season, he'll be here for 5 years, which is enough time for him to become Belgian, which I think is going to help out massively for the whole homegrown mess that we seem to find ourselves in every season. Agustin Perez is one of those players that I know how good he is, and I don't think I've ever really shown you how good he is. He's just good. Ignore the down arrows. I think this is just because it's the start of the season and fitness and things like that. He's kind of struggling, but he's good. He is very, very good. He's very physically good. He's very mentally good as well. That's also very terrible English. But yeah, he's good physically, good mentally. Technically, he's not amazing, but he's good where you need it to be, I think. Dribbling, first touch, passing and technique, 11, 13s and 16. I think he's not bad, is he? He's a good player. Our best player, however, is Mohamed Faye. Last season, Faye scored 25 goals in his debut year. I'm surprised he's still at the club because I was expecting somebody from probably Spain to just go, hold on, he's pretty good. They haven't done that. Nobody's interested in him. He's still happy to be here. So maybe we've got another year or two in Mohamed Faye. I think this could be the last season for Mohamed Faye for us because I reckon somebody big is going to pick him up. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. This season, if he gets another 25 goals, I think he might become a club legend. And finally, somebody who I think should be a club legend, who isn't, is Olivier Dahuahulu. He's played 103 league games, 45 goals for us now. He is declining, but he's still scoring goals. Already 5 goals this season in just 5 starts. Big OD is probably my favourite player in terms of just the story, because we signed him in Season 1. Free transfer from Anderlecht, 7 goals, and then first season in the Jupiler Pro League, 18 goals. He was an absolute monster. 9 goals the next season. He's already got 4 this season, so this could become probably his second top scoring season of all time. Big OD is good. I like Big OD. Anyway, let's play Standard Liège, a team who we've obviously had some past with. They beat us in the Croquis Cup in our first season in the Jupiler Pro League. Hopefully we can I think a draw here would be decent enough. I'm expecting this season we're probably going to be around where we currently are. Currently 6th in the table. We do have a game in hand around some of the teams, so if we win, we might go up to possibly 2nd or 3rd, but it is early days. I'm expecting a kind of non-existent season. That's my plan. I don't really want Europe. I just want to get through the season, maybe try and fix the finances, and maybe we can build Europe properly next year. Well, it's an exciting first game of the season, isn't it? So far, 35 minutes in, not a single highlight. There's been 6 shots for us, 2 going Standard Liège's way, or 3 going Standard Liège's way, but nothing really is happening so far. And by nothing at all has happened. It's almost half-time. Zazua with a corner towards Sabai. The headed effort from the Ivorian goes over the bar. The 2 Ivorians there combining has our first highlight, and that brings us to half-time. Not really a lot going on, is there? I did just say to them at half-time I'm happy with how things are going, because when you think we are still not good enough for this league, but we are currently drawing with Standard Liège, you kind of have to be happy. Mohamed Faye with the ball in the centre circle, runs off towards the left-hand side. Desi collects this, who's picked up a knock, tries to go for goal himself. Bodar easily holds onto that one. He should have played it across to Dahuahulu, who then probably had an easy chance and would have made it 1-0. Right, Desi is coming off. We're going to bring on Polizzi. The injury, I think, is hampering him a little bit. We're going to bring off Dahuahulu as well. No, we're not. We're going to bring off Sio, who's having an absolute shocker. We're going to just do a bit of rearranging. Elizalde is going to go as a centre-back. Asaletti will become the left-back. That is all we're going to do for the moment. Sio, I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. He's dropped down to a 6.1, but Standard haven't had any chances. LaRosse has now picked up an injury. Fine, we will do this change. LaRosse for Peters. We all know about little Breck Peters. We're going to see a free kick. Elizalde, possibly. His name's going to be complicated to say. Zazua with this ball. Left-hand side is Luca Polizzi. He's been here since day 1 into the penalty area. Polizzi goes for goal. He's hit the post and Standard can clear the ball. We are getting very close to opening the scoring in this, but I feel like this might be a 0-0 draw. Final 5 minutes of the game. If you told me at the start you'd get a 0-0 draw against Standard, I would have taken it. But after this performance, that's a penalty, isn't it? What are you What's happened? How have we conceded a penalty here? VAR is checking. It is a penalty. I have no idea what went on there. I don't know who conceded it. It is going to be a penalty. Luis Henrique versus Andre then. Andre goes the right way. Henrique has just stolen 3 points for standard. I'm going to try and fire them up, see if it does anything. We've got very little time left to play. I don't think it's going to do too much at all. Are we going to lose? Are we going to lose? There's still time. We've got 2 minutes. Mohamed Faye to Pacoma Zazua. We've got Weidner making a run. Does use the German. On the right-hand side. Get your cross in, my friend. There's 3 in the box. The slight tackle from Agustin Perez has found its way in at the front post. We've rescued a point. Perez gets his 3rd of the season. We deserve more. We deserved way more than what we're going to get out of this. Is there time for another one? Is there time for a winner? No, there is not. There is not time for a winner, but we've managed to not lose. They had 1 chance, really. I mean, they had 9 shots. I think we saw one of them. They had 9 shots. I don't know who conceded the penalty, but Agustin Perez saving the day in the 94th minute. We're still unbeaten. And there is a bit of confirmation. 5 matches unbeaten for Rupel Boom in the league. We are currently 5th place in the table. 2 wins, 3 draws. We are kind of the draw specialists at the moment. I'm probably going to call it there for today's episode because, like I said earlier, I'm not expecting this season to be a particularly exciting one. I'm thinking mid-table, maybe a little bit higher. If we get into the little European playoff league thing, that'll be great, but I'm not expecting it because what we've done is we've sold a lot of players and we haven't really replaced them. We literally have 2 strikers left in our squad. So if Tahua Hulu or what's his name? I've already forgotten his name. Faye gets injured. We are kind of probably going to use a midfielder as a striker. Next episode, I think where we're going to go is possibly Ghent and Anderlecht. We're going to go a fair distance into the future. As you can see, our new stadium, by the way, I say it's not ours, it's Antwerp's. 13,000, 12,000, 7,000 for the cup game, which is more than we would have got in our normal stadium. So even in cup games, we are getting lots more seats, lots more tickets being sold. So yeah, we're going to play Oostende Westerlo also at home. So hopefully that's a bit more money into the bank. We'll come back for Ghent and Anderlecht in the next episodes. Hopefully, maybe 6 points? Maybe 6 points in there. Against Oostende and Westerlo, maybe lose to Cercle Bruges or draw with Cercle Bruges. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you very much for watching episode 1 of season 5 of Rupel Boom or Bust. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell as well so you get notified whenever the next video is released. I have just started, I think a few days ago when this comes out, an Arsenal save. Similar to the Dortmund save that I've done previously, but the Arsenal save is going to be 3 seasons with Arsenal with a goal, ultimately, trying to win the Premier League. So yeah, if you're not watching that, go check that one out as well. There's probably about 3 or 4 videos already released by the time this one comes out. Thank you very much for watching this one. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all the fun YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.